Hi Cancer, welcome and welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. We're talking about April. Today, I know it's kind of crazy, we're already talking about April. At least to me anyway, it's crazy. So I hope March has been and is going well for you, or did go well. These videos might be coming out a little bit late. Sorry, a bit distracted. So we are using the Black Tarot this month. Absolutely obsessed with this deck. This is probably my favorite deck that I own. I love it. And it's kind of funny. I was actually planning on using a different deck for April, but I had to move this one out of the way to get to it. And as soon as I picked this one up, it was like just immediately plugged in. It just like that clear sentience thing, like you just kind of feel it, you know? So anyway, I was like, hell yeah, let's do this. These messages have been a little bit longer. And I think that's just kind of part of the beauty of these cards too. It's like, you know, really kind of taking our time to dive into the message. And anyway, let's get into it. So for the monthly readings, we do a 4-card spread. So the center position is the current energy. To the left of that is any potential blocks. Underneath is advice for clearing the block. And then kind of the energy that you're heading into or what's next. I don't shuffle reversals into the deck, but if the card comes out in the reverse, we'll keep it that way. The cards do actually need to fall out of the deck. If they flip in the deck, we'll just flip them over and keep it moving. And then my intention is just for 1 card to come out at a time. But if 2 cards come out together, we'll take 2. Any more than 2, we'll put it back. Because we do want the messages to be super clear. Did I just say that? Anyway. So, what is the current energy for Cancer, April 2022? Cancer. We have the Magician. Dang. That is what's up. Making shit happen. 6 of Cups. Interesting. 2 of Spheres. Really? That's interesting too. Amazing. So, sorry. So we have the Magician as a current energy. This to me has this feeling of like kind of really taking control of your own life, or like you're really focusing on what you want to manifest into your reality. You know, the Magician knows that they have everything that they need in order to make shit happen. They have the resources, they have the materials, they have, you know, all of the things that you need. You know, your mind is in the right place. This can even, because we have the 6 of Cups at the bottom, and the 6 of Cups talks about nostalgia, kind of looking at the past for kind of a lesson. It's also a lot of inner child stuff. So, I mean, there could be some, you know, kind of inner child work that you've been doing, or just really kind of, you know, like taking a look back on your childhood or adolescence, maybe even, you know, teens, early 20s, and just kind of, what were the things that kind of lit you up back then? You know, the Cups also talk about our emotions, right? So, but it's looking to the past to gain something in the present. And then we have all of this pentacle energy behind, and I'll kind of, we'll go through some of it. But it's interesting because, you know, I mean, this could have to do with, you know, since there is so much pentacle energy, and of course, you know, I will just kind of see how it goes with the rest of the placements here. But this could, you know, this magician energy could have to do with your job. It could have to do with your health. It could have to do, you know, like with how you make an income. But we have the Two of Pentacles behind there. The Two of Pentacles talks about kind of balance and juggling. So, I mean, you may be feeling like you're juggling finances. We have the Ace of Pentacles right behind there, though. So, you know, the Ace of Pentacles kind of talks about like a new opportunity. Hey, thank you. You know, it talks about a new opportunity coming in. This could be a new opportunity with work. This could be a new opportunity, like something, you know, some sort of new information about your health. I mean, this can even have to do with where you live. It's the physical 3D world, right? I mean, it's the things that we can touch, the things that we can, you know, like look at and see, right? And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is something that has either been going on for some time, because the Knight of Pentacles is very slow moving. But, you know, and it's kind of interesting because like we have the Ace of Pentacles here. I mean, it's almost literally identical, right? And it very well may be identical. But, you know, we have this Ace of Pentacles down here. So there's this commitment and dedication to, you know, almost like just kind of growing something, or like really kind of putting your focus on something. And again, you know, we're still talking about pentacles here. So this still has to do with how you make your money, what you spend your time doing, you know, like again, taking care of your health, like your physical vessel, right? It could have to do with, and again, this is a journey. This has been something that has been going on for some time. We have the High Priestess showing up, and I always see the High Priestess as being our higher selves. You know, she's all about intuition. Sorry, I was like, wait a second, is this also like a Cancer card? Because I'm just kind of feeling, I'm feeling a Cancer energy from this anyway, but it's all about like intuition and being really connected to your star player, right? Like being really in tune with yourself. We have the Eight of Pentacles behind there, which talks about, again, you know, just the dedication and the focus that you put into mastering something, like really kind of building on either a craft or even like, you know, your job. This could even be like a level up with your job. And it's interesting because we have, you know, this juggling energy going on. And that's what I was saying with the Two of Pentacles, is that, you know, there is like this kind of juggling energy that comes along with the Two of Pentacles. And then we have the Six of Wands behind that and the Ten of Pentacles. So there's this success happening. So, reading done. No, just kidding. But it's just, and it starts because this Magician here, like there could have been a decision that you made, that, you know, like really just kind of gets things moving. And to a certain extent, it is a decision because, again, like I was saying with the Magician, like, you know, it's realizing that you do have everything that you need to kind of move forward. And it seems like as far as like moving forward, it has to do with your job. I mean, it could even have to do with all of those things, right? I mean, the Magician doesn't have to be just focusing on one solitary area of life, right? I mean, like there could be a lot of things that are, you know, kind of shifting in your physical world though, because like I said, you know, all of those pentacles showing up, right? Like that's all outside of you. That's all physical, 3D. So what is the block for Cancer? What's blocking Cancer? We have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Swords. Eight of Wands. The Knight of Cups. So, the Knight of Wands. Wands have to do with communication and action, right? So it's like, you know, the things that you are, you know, kind of acting on, acting towards, how you're even communicating about those things, right? And generally, you know, the Knight of Wands is very playful, a bit impulsive, kind of, you know, like just kind of fun loving, right? Like having a good time, maybe not so serious. But this is coming up in the blocked position, right? So, and then we have the Knight of Swords underneath that, or underneath, or at the bottom of the deck, excuse me. The Knight of Swords talks about, it's really kind of fast moving. The swords talk about our thoughts, our intellect. It deals with our ego also because our egos live in our minds, right? So, the Knight of Swords is a bit, you know, like there's a determination there. And again, you know, like with these coming up in the blocked position, I just get this feeling that there is something, especially with them both being knights, that either the opposite energy is going on to where, you know, like you're like maybe being a bit closed-minded, not wanting to really kind of see other perspectives except for your own, right? Because you're like, no, like I already know, like, I know what I want. I know I know the direction that I'm heading in. I know how I can get there, you know, all of the things, right? I have all these options. But we have these knights that are showing up in the blocked position. And we even have the Knight of Cups behind the Eight of Wands. Another knight. Who are we missing? The Knight of Pentacles, who already showed up, kind of, at the bottom of the deck. So you know, the Eight of Wands is fast moving communication. Like it is something quick, just boom, right? Like it comes in fast. It forces you almost to move kind of fast. The Knight of Cups is this, you know, kind of offer of, I mean, it deals with our emotions, right? So it could be an apology. It could be, you know, just somebody communicating how they feel about you or about the situation, you communicating how you feel about a situation. We have the Six of Pentacles behind there, which talks about charity or grants even. Like I can't really see the Six of Pentacles as being like a loan, because there's no strings attached for me with the Six of Pentacles energy. So it's kind of like a gift that is being given to you. But again, you know, all of this is showing up in the blocked position. So again, you know, like there's this feeling of being a bit closed-minded, like again, not kind of wanting to see things from a different perspective other than your own. This could even be, you know, just kind of impulsively communicating, like really just kind of like saying something before you've thought it through. Like, because again, we have this Eight of Wands. So, you know, it almost like comes out because maybe it's just a reflex based on inner child. Like, you know, I was saying with the Six of Cups that was at the bottom of the deck, and inner child stuff. So, you know, this could just be a narrative that you've kind of held on to, and you know, like just kind of believe it to be a narrative about yourself or about, you know, like the people outside of you, right? And like, you know, just how they're reacting to you or how you feel you're being treated or whatever, right? I mean, that can be in any aspect. That could be in relationships. It could be with job. It could be with, you know, friendships, however, right? So like I'm saying, there could, you know, kind of be things are just maybe coming out of your mouth before you kind of have a chance to kind of recognize. And it could have to do with, you know, kind of, again, like how you're feeling. Like, you know, just that inner child just snaps, right? Or just, you know, kind of nips at people, right? It doesn't even necessarily have to be like people. Again, like I said, you know, like this could be, you could be feeling this way about work or whatever, you know, the case may be. And maybe just kind of feeling like you don't have the help or the assistance or whatever that, you know, like you, or support even. And, you know, like with this being in the blocked position, it is kind of blocking this Magician energy. So all of that, you know, like we were talking about with the Magician, right? Like there could be just a delay, you know, like with kind of all of that moving forward because, you know, we have the Knight of Wands in the blocked position. What is the advice for Cancer? And even, you know, the Knights are, you know, when we get to the court cards, they can represent people. Usually the pages are like adolescent to like, you know, early or mid-20s. Again, it's the energy of the card, right? I mean, of course, it could be that you're dealing with somebody of that age group, but it's also just kind of having a younger energy about it. The Knights deal with, you know, 20s to you know, like 40s, like late 30s, 40s. The Queens deal with, you know, like 40s, 50s. And then the Kings are like, you know, kind of the elders, like, not that 60 is like elder by any means, but again, it's just, it's the energy, because by then, you know, you've gained a lot of experience, you have a lot of wisdom. So, you know, this could be you, like you could be kind of fitting into that energy as far as those kind of quote unquote like age group goes. Somebody else in the situation could be, could match that. That was the Hanged Man. I feel like I've seen that jump a couple times. What is the advice for Cancer? And what's also interesting, I know we're still waiting for our card to come out and the advice, but what's also interesting is that, you know, when we talk about the Magician and having, you know, all of the materials and things that are, you know, like everything that you need to get going, what was interesting is that, you know, we had the Knight of Wands that came out, we had the Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck, we had the Knight of Cups behind the Eight of Wands, but we didn't have the Knight of Pentacles, right? So there seems to be kind of that element that was missing. And maybe that is because there is this, you know, kind of like impulsive charge forward, like without putting a lot of like kind of thought into the consequences. Interesting. So we have the Page of Swords in the reverse. And again, so I was just kind of looking at the the imagery here. So, you know, again, swords have to do with our thoughts and our intellect, right? Like how we perceive things with our ego, right? And our egos are developed in part or mostly by our inner child wounding, right? This has this feeling of like kind of re-evaluating. Almost like I just kind of get this energy of like kind of going back to the drawing board almost. Like, you know, we have the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, and the Five of Pentacles generally talks about lack or, you know, like kind of feeling left out in the cold. And this to me, it's like, you know, literally flipping a perspective, because, you know, with the Page of Swords, this kind of talks about, you know, these new inspiration, this new perspective, really, Because again, we're talking about pages, right? So we're talking about kind of the younger energy. It's like, you know, when you get a brand new job, right? And it's like, you know, your first couple months there, just kind of feeling like a little bit of a noob, right? And it's, you know, really kind of taking on that energy of like really kind of soaking things in and, you know, kind of being a sponge, right? And with it coming out in the reverse, and especially with this being in the advice position, like I said, I'm just getting this energy about flipping your perspective. We have the sword, right? This is the Ace of Swords here. So, and it's interesting that by flipping it, you know, it kind of comes on the top because it's giving me this energy of really getting clear on I want to say like what you're capable of. There's so many different things that are like just kind of like being poured right down into my head, because even, you know, going back to the Magician, right? Like, I mean, you could be feeling like, again, you know, you have it all figured out. You know exactly either what needs to happen or what you need to do or what you want to do or what you want, you know, the outcome to look like. There could be this, you know, kind of impulsive, close-minded, like, you know, tunnel vision is the word that's coming to mind. Like you can only see it going this way, right? But then it's like, you know, by seeing it that way, it's kind of like you're taking resources away from yourself. Like somehow by doing that, because, you know, as I was saying, we had the Knight, we had the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the Knight of Cups. So it's like the element, the 3D element, or even just the financial element of how you go about doing those things is now absent. Because, you know, like of being in this kind of tunnel vision energy. And unfortunately, this dimension that we're in, we all decided somehow along the way that money was going to be the way that we acquire resources. And so unfortunately, we need money. We need, you know, some form of it, right, to accomplish a lot of different things. Of course, money's not everything. I'm not saying that it is, but what I am saying is that the money element was missing, and it could have been even your health, right? I mean, like this could even be affecting your health to some degree. So then, you know, when we get down here with the Page of Swords being in the reverse, you know, this is asking you to go back, take a couple steps back, and really evaluate, you know, like what this Magician energy is for you. Like the thing that you want, is it actually viable? Like, is it actually something that you, because there's only one person in all of these cards also, right? So is this something that you can do on your own? Are you going to need some sort of assistance? You know, like we have the Five of Pentacles down here. So, you know, are you going to be lacking some sort of support or finances? Because again, now we're back to the money thing, right? And is the situation, if it were to work out exactly how you have pictured, right? Just kind of let yourself go on a journey. But you have to be honest with yourself. And that's with, you know, the Page of Swords. And like I was saying, with this sword now being at the top instead of on the bottom corner, the Ace of Swords is a sword of truth. This is the divine truth, though. This isn't the truth as we see it through the lens or the filter of our egos and the stories that we've based our realities off of. Just, you know, like I was saying, you know, with the inner child woundings and things, right? This is pure honesty. So if the Magician, you know, like if this situation went exactly the way that you see it in your head, right? Your tunnel vision, are you going to have the resources, the support, the health, like just the physical capability and the monetary capability of keeping it going, or, right, like keeping it afloat? We have the Page of Cups behind there. You know, again, you know, and it's interesting that over here we have the Knights, down here we have the Pages. And the Pages, you know, like they do bring in messages also, right? I mean, I believe the Knights do too. But, you know, with the Page of Cups here, again, you know, like it's really getting clear on this, you know, kind of the emotions that you have with it. We have the Hierophant behind there. The Hierophant is Taurus. So, I mean, you could be dealing with a Taurus, but you don't have to be. The Hierophant deals with like institution and traditional ways of doing things. It also deals like with education. It can deal with your community also. Definitely a lot of head stuff. But that's the thing, like, right, like really kind of explore, like, you know, like I was saying, like really kind of take yourself on a journey on, you know, like, would this go how I imagine it going? Or would it just kind of put me in a sticky spot? Because we have the Seven of Swords here. And the Seven of Swords is sneaky. It you know, the energy of the Seven of Swords is kind of betrayal, manipulation. It's kind of fooling yourself a little bit. We have the Ace of Wands, though, behind that. So it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like, you know, by like seeing, you know, kind of going on this journey here. It's kind of like, you know, like you are going to see it. There's going to be some sort of light bulb moment, which is what the Ace of Wands is. Like, that's that light bulb, right? That's a spark. It could even just kind of like rejuvenate your dedication. You could even, you know, kind of plan to go in a different direction to some type of degree. But it's kind of like, you know, by like inserting truth kind of into this, you know, then we have this beautiful, you know, like reignition of a passion. Like, again, just kind of being reinvigorated with whatever the thing is, like whatever you're going for. Then we have the Eight of Wands again. It starts moving forward quickly. What you're putting your energy into, right? Like, takes off. We have the Seven of Pentacles here. This is, you know, I mean, really putting your energy into something so that it has the ability to grow into something tangible or monetary. I just heard investments in my head. I don't know. What's next? What's the energy that, was that the Hanged Man again? You know, I'm just going to talk about the Hanged Man really quick. And the Hanged Man was behind the Seven of Pentacles too. So, and I'm just going to bring this up because, like I said, you know, like I feel like I've seen the Hanged Man like jump a couple times. The Hanged Man is an invitation to see things from a different perspective. Like the traditional depiction of the Hanged Man is, you know, that figure is hanging upside down by one foot. And, you know, they don't seem to be in any type of distress. And there's usually like a halo around their head. So, you know, it talks about enlightenment. But in the sense of like, you know, being able to see a situation differently, like kind of being able to really open your mind and see all of the possibilities. And just kind of knowing that there is more than one possibility that you've come up with. Like, again, you know, if this is a tunnel vision type energy, there is a different perspective that could change things for you. Just kind of change the way that you're seeing it, change the way that you're feeling about it. It's just so interesting that I keep seeing the Hanged Man, but it doesn't want to come out though, right? Like it hasn't actually come out. So what's next for Cancer? Four of Wands. And then we have the Five of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So the Four of Wands deals with stability, foundation. There's harmony. There's some sort of union going on here. Fours have to do with discipline also. So this is, you know, like really kind of working towards, you know, either having more stability in your life, whether that be financially, mentally, whatever, you know, I mean, it could be, you know, a house, of course, right? Because we're talking about like foundation, you know, kind of like the four, it generally has like four pillars. This is even, I mean, this definitely has an energy of like something that's been going on for some time, but, you know, kind of this light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe, you know, towards or by the end of the month, you'll start seeing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, even if it is tiny. And we have the Five of Cups at the bottom of the deck. And the Five of Cups generally, you know, it talks about loss. But it depends on how you interpret it, of course, right? Just like with anything. Again, with cups dealing with our emotions. So, you know, there's 3 cups that have been turned over. There's still 2 cups left here, right? So this is, you know, like an invitation to focus on the 2 cups that are full. And understanding that, you know, the 3 cups that have been poured out were not meant for you. It's like that unanswered prayers song by Garth Brooks, right? Like being grateful even that these things didn't work out, because, you know, all that shit that doesn't work out for some reason, it didn't work out because it wasn't in your highest good. So, you know, we still have these 2 options here. We still have these 2 cups, right? So it's, you know, like really kind of focusing on the possibilities that are still in front of you. And, you know, it's almost kind of finding gratitude, because, you know, like the hardest time for me to find gratitude is when, you know, I just kind of feel like nothing is working out. Everything I try to do turns to shit, right? Like I just, F these 2 cups. These 3 cups were what I really wanted and what I thought was really going to bring me joy, right? Like my tunnel vision. But again, it's like recognizing that there are these 2 options that are still available and reaching for those. There's 3 of Pentacles behind there. So this is planning. This is also collaboration. So now we have 2 figures, which is interesting because the 2 of Cups is behind that. So, you know, this could be even, you know, this energy of like feeling like you have to do things yourself, which I understand. You know, like they say that hyper independence is a trauma response. I believe it. Like if you feel like you have to do everything on your own, that's because like you never quite felt supported by your guardians or your peers or whatever. But, you know, it's kind of like, you know, by shifting your focus here on these 2 cups, which is interesting because we have these 2 of Cups here and we're, ooh. Did you feel that? Did you get that connection? Oh my goodness. Cancer. Okay. So there's this collaboration that's happening. We're talking about spheres again. This money thing keeps coming up. Again, you know, it could have to do with health. Your home, right? But this keeps coming back. You know, like there have been pentacles everywhere, I feel. So, but this is working with somebody else, right? This is teamwork. There could be some sort of mentor. There could be somebody else that just kind of helps you get or plan to get where you want to go. And we have the 2 of Cups here. Oh my gosh. I'm saying, right? We're focusing on these 2 cups that we still have left. And here they go. Because, and maybe it's because you took yourself on this journey, you know, and maybe it's because you allowed yourself to see things from a different perspective, even if slightly, right? And, you know, the goal is for stability and just to kind of feel a bit more freedom, or just to kind of feel like, you know, you can take a deep breath. So, you know, here go these 2 cups. You know, you kind of switched your focus, and maybe, you know, even grieving those 3 cups, if that's what you need to do, right? Like, however it is, so that you can kind of focus on the 2 cups. And then, you know, maybe somebody comes in and starts, you know, like this could even be somebody that you don't know. It could be somebody that you do, comes in and starts kind of helping you, or just kind of gives you information that could help you. And there those 2 cups show up. This could be, you know, I mean, just options, right? I mean, just something that you feel good about. So good. I'm not, you know, like the 2 of Cups, a lot of people see it as like being kind of the soulmate card. I'm not, that's not to say that, you know, I mean, this, whoever this person is, it could be a romantic thing. I don't I don't get the feeling that it's romantic. I get the feeling that this is how you feel about the situation. Like you're kind of bursting at the seams with it. And maybe, you know, whoever this person is that's helping you, maybe they feel good about it too. So you're both like in agreement with how things are moving forward. We have the Two of Swords, the Four of Swords, or excuse me, the Knight of Swords is back. But this is, you know, like the Two of Swords deals a little bit with like indecision. There could just be two options that show up. Like we have the Two of Cups, the Two of Swords. There could be two options that show up. And we, you know, again, with even with these two cups, two people on this, you know, like there could be two options that show up for you. And, you know, you're kind of having to like decide between the two. Because then we have the Knight of Swords behind that. And, you know, like you go from 2 to 1. And this really kind of feels like you'll know. You'll know because, you know, generally with the Four of Cups behind that, the Four of Cups is usually kind of like a gift out of nowhere. Like the traditional depiction is that the figure is again focusing on these 3 cups that, you know, have been turned over, and then there's like this hand that comes out of the sky that's holding just 1 cup. And, you know, the figure doesn't really see it because they're too focused on the 3 cups. But in this depiction, you know, like there's this figure that's between all of these cups. And even still, there's 2 cups that are turned over and 2 cups that are kind of how, you know, there's these 2 cups here. We had the Two of Cups here. So it has this feeling that like you'll know what the right pick is. Like it'll just somehow be obvious. And, you know, like maybe the indecision is because you want the other option to be the one. And, you know, I mean, this could have to do with a job. This could have to do, maybe you have been interviewing for jobs and maybe you get a couple offers that come in and there's one that you wish it was the one, but this other one is like, it's still probably just as good. But maybe, you know, like you were less excited about the company or something, right? But you know that it's the right one to go with. Because even, you know, the High Priestess came out earlier, right? So this is really tuning, again, like into that star player energy. Beautiful. Very interesting. Very interesting too. There is, you know, stability that's coming through this journey. So I wish you all the best on your journey. And thank you so much for being on mine too. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye, Cancer.